Look at the matchup, it looks like the community vote has gone 58% in favor of Fury. Do you think that that's an accurate assumption?
Yeah, as I mentioned, based off their sort of recent form, I wouldn't favour them much more higher than that. Of course, Rhythm unfortunately did actually finish last in Challenger League this season, so again, not in the greatest form either, but they have had a couple of changes here and there as well, so a little bit of a dark horse, I think, heading into this tournament.
So straight away, Capital and Nomad going to be taken out, so that means all breaches are pretty much available for the opposing team. Who do you think we're seeing on the defending side from Fury?
Probably expecting an Echo Maestro. There you go, Echo will be the first. Waiting on the second here. We could possibly see someone like Mozzie taken off the board if there wants to be a real wild pick, but I'm expecting pretty stock standard here, probably be Maestro or Mirror, and yeah, there you go, Mirror will be the second pick. As we head into round number 1, Fury will be on defense, of course, and Rhythm attacking first and foremost.
That's it, so all that's left is to decide where we head for the first round. And of course, the operators that will accompany that first round and the storyline that we build, we are going to Armory and Archives. Anything you see that might be out of the normal right now from the operators?
The only real potentially odd pick is Warden, I guess, on that dock. Some teams do favour having that dock on their team, has that adaptability with the ACOG as well as those stim pistols, whereas other teams will pretty much avoid him. So definitely, I think, an individual sort of player pick there. Warden, obviously quite confident on that dock, but other than that, I think the picks across the board, relatively stock standard.
Alrighty, straight through to the preparation phases, and this is where we can get all the damage done and the setups ready. Are we expecting anything that might be out of the norm with setups either, or is it just pretty much expecting what most teams would go with?
I guess sort of touching a little bit on that last matchup with Fnatic, we did see them with quite a strong border hold back in Milan, and I'm assuming plenty of these teams would have watched that VOD and maybe tried to adapt some of that into their own defense. So I'm expecting Fury to maybe take a couple of strategies out of their book heading into this map. I'm not seeing anything too crazy so far, so they might just get a feel for it in these first couple of rounds and adapt as they need to.
Yeah, well, there we go. Preparation phase all done and dusted. We get into the dirty, nitty-gritty action, of course. So, looks like we are going to see an approach coming from the eastern side, in towards the north balcony. Looking to contest the officers / archives. Wait and see, but already actually not really wasting much time there. Buck's going to be opening up in toward officers. However, it is being contested by 2 individuals from Fury.
Yeah, indeed. Rock here holding inside of officers, getting quite aggressive. Has the single wall reinforced to his left here to offer some protection, but a pinch here, if not covered by Spruce inside the water, could cause major issues for him. So it looks as if Worthy and his teammates will take quite a conservative approach towards this attack and try and flush him out strategically. But no, Rock is having none of it. Gets the headshot onto Worthy. Fortunately, Feynman is there for a quick refrag.
Yeah, nice potential, I guess, if you're doubling up. That could have gone horribly wrong because 2 players were there. Warden, however, in the meantime, taking down Thumbnail. Now, springs that into the 4v3. Fury in control of this round for now, anyway. We do still have Thatcher and also the IQ back up with the potential for the hard clear. However, it is Bruce that finds the kill. It's actually not the kill, it's just the down onto the Thatcher. Now, they will need to pick back up Thatcher and reassess.
Indeed, it did appear as if Spruce actually tried to C4 before he did that cheeky rotate, and I think the actual Wayman was perfectly timed there. Spruce again with another cheeky play, so he's been super aggressive, not just with the C4s, but with his gun as well. He may well know that that diffuser is down. He could have seen it dropped, and he's going to try and hold that position now from the water fountain. A nice tight angle for him to be positioned in, and if using the drone down, he'll definitely be in a position to get a play going. With only 50 seconds to go, there's still quite strong in this position, but unfortunately Unit will just push in and Spruce no longer on the board.
Yeah, Rhythm starting to capitalise now, but that's a nice U-mine to at least slow the progress on toward that site had they taken toward Archives, but Warden now going to be playing off the back of Golden to try and hold that long angle as it's already been opened by Thermite. There we go. The bomb's going to be stuck right now, so Golden can either go for this or hold back, but look at that rappel all the way deep from the eastern balcony. It's going to be Warden to at least shut one down now with the opportunity to isolate that player. Rappelling does get away for a small moment. Might just be baiting out here. Oh my word, it is a pixel in the head. Just going to be able to spot out Unit as well. And OJ still hiding. It's going to be incredibly hard to be able to pull this one back.
Yeah, Rhythm playing extremely passive here, but unfortunately Wayman will be shut down, and this could give Fury time to get the counter defuse. Only 4 seconds left, and OJ is now going to have to enter into the site, but he's not going to have time. The rappel too slow, and Warden able to get the counter defuse, and the passiveness of Rhythm there, fortunately not paying dividends. Fury picking up round number 1.
Yeah, that looked, I must admit, that looked like Rhythm had everything they needed to win that round. I thought that that angle that was being held from the eastern side, the eastern balcony, was going to pay dividends, but definitely a huge play, and you can't take anything away from Warden there, so looks like we are going to be seeing into the round number 2, Ventilation and Workshop.
Indeed, I was a little bit skeptical of that dock pick from Warden, but he seemed to prove me wrong. They're a fantastic play to be able to shut that down, and I think Rhythm, they played those positions quite well, but unfortunately just the aggression from Doc was too much to handle, and Rhythm will probably be a little bit upset that they threw that round away, but still a long, long way to go before Fury can secure this map.
So probably going to see a very heavy presence on that second floor. Have Bandit, Jaeger, Legion, Valk, hell of a lot of operators that can cause some problems on those roams, but wait and see whether they're able to or not. Castle might just be forced to hold the fort down for a small while. Anyway, not too much longer, and round number 2 will be underway. Surely they might be able to fix any errors made in that previous one from Rhythm, which I really feel was there wasn't really too much apart from that very end, so a little bit of unluckiness.
Indeed, I'm expecting Fury here to take a pretty similar approach to the last round, probably not wanting Rhythm to gather as much info and map control early on as they did in that previous round. It was arguably a little bit of a throw there, and Fury won't want to be relying on that for every round. You can't always be relying on the mistakes of your opponent. You just got to capitalize when they do occur. 30 seconds into the round now. Rhythm once again getting quite aggressive and establishing control vertically already.
Yeah, they're not really wasting much time in doing this either. We saw that with the eastern wall earlier with Buck showing a lot of presence, and I guess the promising factor was the fact that neither team are really afraid to take those fights, so I'm sure we're going to see a hell of a lot of explosiveness when it comes down to it. For now, Warden just going to be clearing out in towards central stairs and exit. A nice, slow, dull moment of action. However, Rock has been able to spot the member out on the balcony, but can't capitalize on the kill for now, so it's just systematically rather taking that second floor, and like you said, getting that vertical dominance.
Indeed, Shade unfortunately there having to rotate downstairs, feeling the heat from the Rhythm members, so he'll go downstairs, forfeiting some control, but he will stay alive and have that potential to rotate later in the round. Unit meanwhile establishing that vertical control, as you just mentioned, shooting some holes through the roof. Thumbnail off screen has been downed as well, so he should get picked up here, but that's going to bring him back up to 20 HP, so 1 bullet will be enough to end his life. And as you can see, all 4 of the Fury members have now been flushed downstairs. However, with a minute to go, Rhythm could be a little bit hard pressed here for that final execution.
It's been a nice take of that second floor, and definitely putting the pressure back onto Fury to make the plays. OJ taking down Shade, and that brings it into the 3 versus 5. A huge advantage, but like was touched on already. 40 seconds left. It's really starting to run a little bit thin now. However, they are in decent positions with a lot of dominance already set up. It's the goon mines that are just being placed here, there, nor anywhere. With a lot of droning out being done. This last couple of seconds will be huge. Look at the flank coming in as well.
Indeed, Warden unfortunately missing those first key initial shots. His position will be revealed. He has two members to deal with. Worthy will take full advantage of his mistake and take him out. Golden as well taken out, and Spruce now left all alone. He does get the one kill, but unfortunately the diffuser is planted. He's going to have to hit an ace clutch. He's unsuccessful, and OJ securing that last kill will give Rhythm round number 2. It's now a 1-all scoreline.
Yeah, it felt like Rhythm were definitely taking their time with that upper control, the upper floor control. Worked out an absolute treat. They just had so many different avenues to take that fight toward Fury, and that's going to eventually fold and concede. So 1-1 now with the defensive side opting for customs and supply room. Maybe a little bit more sauciness. Maybe we might see a stronger hold on that second floor from Fury.
Yeah, Fury not shying away here from experimenting with new sites. So that'll be 3 different sites in 3 consecutive rounds. Notably, Thumbnail there will be jumping onto the line with the 6th pick, and Shade as well, electing to use his onto Mozzie. I think one interesting thing to note is, really other than that line, there's not any real particular attacking operators or that execute. So I was a little bit surprised that they got away with that final round there, Rhythm, due to that lack of operator depth, but they seem to be able to make it work, and I guess Fury now have to reset a new site, try and recover from that round that they just forfeited.
So still enough time to be setting these vault cams in the correct positions, and how they will hold. We'll see how much presence they really have in that second floor. Looks like 4 more of the members maybe giving a lot of attention towards CCTV in particular. And with that, Rock just getting detected on the outside. Doesn't really matter. Just showing a bit of, why not? Just show some presence. But anyway,
it was actually an interesting use of barbed wire there. Could help potentially stopping those Rhythm plays from pushing that outside balcony. So an interesting play from him, and I guess it also opens that opportunity for a sneaky run out later in the round.
Well, again, seems like the Mozzie coming back into full effect. We saw Mozzie being played quite often in the previous matchup, especially on border, so can gain a lot of vision with, even if it is just the one we've been able to pick up for now. It's going to be a slower clear, and that's a hell of a lot of intel that they're going to be able to gain off the extra cams that they're going to place down. Wayman, however, making short use of that Mozzie, and down goes the control of those devices.
Indeed, Thumbnail on that line now, pushing through break room, will be contested heavily here by the members in security, namely Warden here on the ALDA with the ACOG. Shuts him down. Very clean headshot, and no more of those line scans available. Wayman as well will get rocked, so it's now a 4 versus 3 scenario. It still looks like there might be a member in CC. Wayman copping some shots in the back. Unit just ADSing it a long time there as well. So there's a lot going on at the moment. Warden getting Unit to even out the man count now. Double kill for him, almost a triple if he just missed a couple shots through beepers. But he's going to rotate back safely now to site. And with a minute to go, it's going to look like a 3v3 execute scenario.
Thatcher Buck, they've got a lot of options depending on how much they've actually got left with that utility. So Thatcher's actually got all 3 EMP grenades up. And surely with some of these extra pieces, that the very electrical usage of the operators on the defensive side, it might actually come in handy. Buck with that soft breach. Plenty left. Still 1 hard breach as well left on Thermite, so this looks pretty promising at this point for Rhythm. However, Doubling down across toward that B bomb site. It depends on how they take this. OJ's just going to go straight on through and look for that direct plan. He will have the support. It's worth. And Wayne Man, had they gone a little bit more aggressive, it's worth. Does find Spruce in the meantime, and with that bomb down, they will surely be put the pressure back on with it's worth taking another kill. Golden can't get anything done in a 3-piece to end it. Wowzers, that was pretty explosive from Rhythm.
Indeed, Manic, as you mentioned, Thatcher still had all 3 EMP grenades there, and I thought that may have been impactful in taking out Golden's goo mines there on the Legion, but possible oversight from him saw none of them placed under the window there in the vault in where the plant was defaulted, so maybe they were taken out, not exactly sure, but if no goo mines were placed there, possible mistake costing them the round because the plant was able to go down cleanly there. It was a pretty convincing win in the end.
Looks like we will have a possible rehost. That's okay. So that'll be good fun for all involved. But so far, an interesting start from the gentleman on Rhythm. That's pretty much, I feel like all 3 rounds they've really been in control of. Do you think that's partly on Fury's part?
Look, I think it's a little bit too early in the map to really tell sort of which way it is going at the moment. I feel like at the half we'll probably have a little bit more of a better indication as to which way it's sort of going. This rehost, no doubt, going to for a little bit of a...
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we do apologise for that short interruption in between the game. However, we've sorted out all the issues and, well, Wild OJ has appeared back in the server. So, back into the action, we will be seeing Armory and Archives picked in the 4th round. I don't think we'll see anything too different from maybe the defensive side for this one.
Indeed, it's good to be back. That rehost taking a little bit of time there, so potentially giving the teams a little bit of an opportunity to use it as a bit of a tactical timeout and reflect the previous 3 rounds, discuss any shortcomings that there may be, any mistakes that have been made. They'll have the opportunity now for the second half of the first half, so the next 3 rounds of the first 6. So get some more on the board and hopefully head into the second half with a nice lead.
So it definitely could play could pay dividends for Fury right now. Look, I may be wrong in thinking this, but I felt like Rhythm really got off to a good start. They obviously almost had that first round as well, so that would have been all 3 going in their favour had it not been for Warden and his clutch. So, yet to see on the action of that, but we are currently out of the preparation phase and back into the action of round number 4. Now, they've got a lot of presence toward, well, not a lot, rather just got Warden in towards CCTV, which OJ was looking to go ahead and drone out, but not yet, not today. And Shades, well, he is well and truly out of it.
Yeah, Warden establishing a little bit of a one-man army there over on the southwest side of the map inside security room. I guess Doc does have that potential to waste a lot of time. He of course has those stim pistols, so if he does take some damage and can get out of there, he'll be able to bring himself back up. But Worthy is in position below the hatch for Shade. He could get a nade off here if the call comes out, but the intel seemingly not there yet. He does have his skeleton key prepped to break the hatch. And if it does, Shady could be in a lot of trouble. Line is one coming out. The hatch gets open. That's fantastic use of utility there. Worthy will get the kill as a result. Really nice start here for him.
That is so dirty to find the first kill. I love that. That's Mozzie off the board as well, so very nicely done. Oh, that nade might actually end up landing and doing some serious damage. Nope. Fortunate enough, ADS will save the life for a small moment, as now maybe the push is going to come through just on the back of Ward, and taking a couple of shots, still manages to stay alive. There's the stim pistol you were so talking about, and they've barely even found a way to bring this back into the into even odds so far. So taking a lot of presence toward the western balcony as Rhythm.
Yeah, well, although it's likely the dock will be dropped here, as I mentioned, that warden is taken down. There is now only just over a minute left in the round, so that does give Fury some opportunity to cause some disruption for the plant. Spruce as well, firing some shots in that security direction, will tag up a couple of the members there of Rhythm as the wall seemingly getting open now into lockers, and it looks as if the members of Fury now will rotate over to this position to try and deny that plant.
That's correct. All three members ready to back each other up at this point. It's going to have to be pushed in with brute force for the attacking side. Buck's making short work with this, and that's huge coming through to give the information. However, the kill doesn't come through just yet. There's the C4 to give them a little bit more room to breathe. Spruce now work on the back of it. The bomb's being stuck. Wayne will take down Spruce. What can be done? Absolutely nothing. And it looked like for a short second they might have had their number met, but it's actually the Rhythm that take complete control and shut it down.
Yeah, Fury looking like they had a sniff of it at the end there, but unfortunately just too many angles being created there by the side of Rhythm. And I think that first kill from Worthy with the line combo and the skeleton key, wow, that really set the tone for the round. That was such an important kill, and taking Mosley off the board also very impactful. So they would have set the tone early, and I guess it really had a nice flow-on effect to the rest of the round. Warden as well was sort of trapped in there and didn't have much of an impact. Probably didn't waste quite enough time, and Rhythm able to capitalize on those mistakes.
So we will be reattempting Armory and Archives, which they're currently 1-for-1 on, but even the one they were able to successfully take, it was still pretty not really that convincing, if I'm being completely honest. So Evil Eye will be dropped up on top in Archives, up on boost to give them a little bit more room to, well, not so much room, more information as they make their way toward the site. And we don't see the dock this time around.
No, Warden, though still on the ACOGs, they're definitely favouring that. The ALDA I'd be willing to bet my house on will be being played by him. Such a powerful LMG, incredible fragging potential in the last matchup. If anyone did watch that, Aces showed its worth with a fantastic clutch late to keep Fnatic alive, and so really what Maestro has become now is just an absolute clutch god and has massive potential late in rounds.
See how much potential he's going to have in this one at this point. So now again, it's going to be that eastern balcony that they tend to lean towards to slowly take control of offices, with Buck doing most of the renovational work, just ensuring that they're not going to be flanked on at this point for that free kill which we saw in the previous round, rather in the first round, not the previous. Is Worthy currently taking a lot of control in office here, and surely counter control will slowly be gained as well as they start to put the feelers out.
Indeed, Rotho with the entry frag will take out unit. Worthy taking a couple of hits as well, and interestingly enough, Buck this occasion not going for low, so instead Worthy pushing directly to site, maybe not taking full use of his utility. That skeleton key so powerful from below, and Wayman appears to have droned it out below, so maybe we will see him rotate later. As Thumbnail also on a rotate through security, dropping Golden, who is going for a nice run out. So he'll be able to even the man count. Now, halfway through the round, it's looking like Rhythm once again establishing some nice control early.
Yeah, Legions, of course, being dropped, so that's going to be a pain in the backside for the defense, but a victory won at this point. Rock looking at the angle just into, however, not going to be rewarded as of yet, as this Worthy starts to make its way, take a little bit more control of the main hallway. OJ with the line in towards Archives now. The drop down is completely opened up, and Spruce will find one, but is completely out of position right now.
That play from Spruce, incredibly risky, didn't net him a kill though, and helping give his team momentum. Rock from below. He'll secure his triple, and the diffuser now dropped. Left all with Thumbnail. He only has one EE, 1D remaining. Strong fragging potential with the V308, but Warden having none of it will shut him down, and Fury taking round number 5.
Incredibly well done for Rock there to not only deny that bomb, but like you're saying, pick up the 3K as we head into the last round. Now that looked a lot better. We will head to customs and supply, and Thumbnail still opting for that Lion plate. Buck's been quite impactful with that soft breaching potential. Thermite going to be picked up for it's pretty much a similar look as to what we've seen, but IQ, that's where the change up comes in.
Indeed, IQ having the ability to spot quite a few of these devices that are being brought out by the defense, namely those Valkyrie cameras, as well as those Legion mines, which can definitely cause issues later in the round. So if IQ can stay alive and use her gadget effectively, Unit Doggy should be able to really help his team, particularly during that execution phase of the round. Fury, they're heading over to customs, appearing to have a strong vertical presence once again. So definitely a trend that's been established tonight between both the Fnatic Extricity matchup and followed up closely by Fury and Rhythm.
Camera activated.
Impact.
And rotates, of course, being prepared for that second level control that they're opting to go for. It's going to be a total of 3 members so far upstairs looking to do the damage, and at least maybe going to get the opportunity to get that drone destroyed, just catching it as it makes its way back over the balcony. So with that, 3 members will be roaming, and 2 possibly sitting on that lower side.
Indeed, I think it's going to be critical for Rhythm once again to try and flush out these players playing from above. Particularly on customs, a lot of the angles created from above are able to watch the common default plant site, so if Rhythm decide to just go straight into the site, it may not end very well for them. So looks like they will take that approach, be quite methodical about that. Try and flush out these members inside security. Thumbnail here on the line. Probably going to play a critical role in doing so. Those EE1Ds although have been nerfed, still powerful. Wayman as well, with Shade being dropped, so clean headshot from him. And as I mentioned, none of those line devices actually used yet a minute into the round, so possibly stacking them for later in the round.
This peak, oh, it was actually timed not too badly. Thumbnail was out in the open, but will eventually pay for that. Warden getting taken down from behind as they're basically just baiting out the performance, and this defense has fallen apart in customs, and not really sure how much impact they're going to have. There's the C4, not the timing, however. As now a 5 versus 2 does not look doable at all for Fury.
It's not looking great, is it? Both Spruce and Golden left off site now, so not only are they at the main disadvantage, they've arguably given up the positional advantage as well. So the 5 members of Rhythm, they just need to play this one smart and try and cover all their angles, and they will do so. Unit cleaning up that kill for Golden. I think there are about 3 different people shooting him, so it's probably lucky to be credited the kill as well. Finished off. And, Rhythm will get a flawless round before the switch of sides. Looking very, very spicy.
Might actually be able to snatch this one out of Fury's hands. As you did mention, it was Fury's map pick, so definitely the right start. And of course, well, surprise, surprise, we're going to Armory and Archives to begin with. So maybe a different take, maybe a different look, as we do see IQ, Ash and Jackal being picked up on the side of the attack.
Indeed, Fury, interestingly enough, deciding to bring Jackal. I don't believe that Rhythm brought him on any of their attacks, so that'll be a really nice intel gathering operator and could potentially unravel any sort of roaming potential for Rhythm. Particularly Mozzie, I feel like a lot of teams are using him as a dedicated roamer, being a 3-speed, he has strong weapons and of course that ability to gather a lot of intel, so if you're able to shut him down, And that will be very, very important.
Time will only tell. Now, again, just the patchwork for Fury to give themselves, rather not Fury, Rhythm to give themselves the line of sights they're looking for. Possibly it's in toward Office and further through, but finally we will see Smoke just coming across to drop down the last reinforcement that I believe he has. Actually, he's got one more, so they're going to double reinforce and of course put the pressure to Habana to find that breach if that's where they're looking ahead.
Interestingly enough, Rhythm here approaching that Office with a little bit more of a traditional defense, electing to reinforce the triple wall. I guess there's a little bit of a split. Some teams will, some teams won't. I guess that comes down to the overall sort of strategic approach that they want to take. But for Rhythm, that's what they're going to do. And I guess with that slightly new strategy of reinforcing one wall over towards lockers and holding it with the Maestro, as we saw just a second ago, yes, that reinforcement can be used elsewhere, and they're electing to put that on that triple wall.
Already clearing out of the ward. Archives trying to get the early access for the live droning. Maybe. No, there was no one on the back of it, but Shade does get a lot of quick information. There's Warden making a lot of progress. Needs to be careful at the moment as he's caught in somewhat of a crossfire. Backs away for now as Rock's been able to do the damage on the thumbnail. Wayne Man's in somewhat of a...
Precarious?
Yeah, I feel I was definitely trying to say precarious there. Let's just leave it at that position. But of course not really. Got the support of the... I think it was the Mozzie behind, so... It was too. Does make it out alive, and now they can play for the 4v5, and well, as I say that, make that a 3 versus 5.
Yeah, things not looking great here for the first defense. Unfortunately, still some time to salvage it though, and I guess having Smoke on the board here, OJ, will play a critical role in helping to redirect their defense, but there's so much utility coming out in terms of droning. That's not going to make things easy, and OJ will suffer the consequences, leaving it all up to a 2v5 now. Spruce, Warden, and Shade getting 1 kill each. 2 headshots in that as well, and Fury will take their first attack flawlessly.
Yeah, that's possibly a concern for Rhythm, but will they be able to bounce back? That's the real question. At 4-3 now, Fury closing that gap. We will reattempt Armory and Archives. Nope, we won't. We're actually going to go Ventilation and Workshop and just leave that upper floor to the big bosses. So, got some roam potential with Valk, but what are we going to see with this Pulse being picked?
Yeah, Pulse definitely an interesting pick. Will provide a lot of intel gathering here for the side of Rhythm. Not exactly sure how effective he's going to be on Workshop and where they decide to play him. I assume on site to try and assist the defenders roaming above. That would probably be the approach to expect. However, Thumbnail could even get aggressive upstairs and try and work out exactly where those attackers are going to come from earlier. Again, they realise the earlier they're able to gather that intel, I guess, quicker they'll be able to adjust exactly where they want their utility placed and their firepower, which will hopefully help them win this round and get a little bit of a further lead.
Vault going to be camming up in towards CCTV, giving them more info. The question is, do they stay remaining upstairs, or are they just putting down the appropriate defenses? To wait and see. It looks like they might even just... Well, it definitely looks like they're going to be staying up there and contesting that second floor, so... Does Fury have what it takes to really take it to them? That's a question that's going to be answered.
I guess time will tell. It doesn't look like there's going to be pretty similar defense here. So nothing too crazy being changed up. I do hear an Ash charge going off in the background though, and that could potentially be Warden from Fury going for another rush. We did see sort of a half rush in the previous round. Didn't really come into fruition though, so it doesn't look like it will be followed up with another. And that's going to allow now Rhythm just play a little bit more passively, just hold the angles required to force the members of the attack back.
You're now dropping some hot jammers everywhere, and that's going to be the push directly in, but he's waiting for it, so nicely done. He's going to be enclosed on, however, and this is a fast, explosive play. Fury already taking control of the side. Thumbnails come down to try and support, but support what? There's nothing there. He's going to have to retake at this point with Wayne Man at 2 versus 4, and before you blink, the round's done and dusted. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was, yeah. That was over before it really started, unfortunately. Rhythm just completely collapsing there. And fortunately for Fury, they have now been able to equalize the scoreline. So I definitely think it's interesting to note that attack has actually been favored in this matchup so far, so a little bit out of the ordinary.
More of a defensive side, you'd reckon?
In most cases, you would have to favour them. I particularly think that with these bans as well, both Capitao and Nomad off the board makes things a little bit more challenging for the attackers. So that the fact that it is still attacking favoured is yeah, definitely pretty spicy.
Alright, we will slowly see the control being given back to Fury. And Rhythm, do they have what it takes to actually bring this one back? Because it feels like they've lost all momentum, all control, as you can see on your scoreboard there. Fury obviously with probably the top heavy kills, but apart from that, there's a decent impact from most players across the board.
Yeah, so it looks like the setup just about finished here for the side of Rhythm. Making some impact holes above, a couple of rotations to try and keep things nice and fluid. And actually interesting to note how strong their presence offsite towards security is at the moment. So expecting a push from Fury on this side of the map, that could either go one or two ways. Fury could decide to rotate towards office and could get a cleaner push, but if they're able to successfully push security, they could drop the main count of Rhythm here quite quickly.
And it'd be quite the concern, as you can see. It's the Jackal that's already using the ability to spot at least one individual. Warden taking down unit to begin with. This is not the greatest start for Rhythm. And I would dare say, like you're saying, with the presence in towards CCTV, it might come back to haunt them. But they're still holding on for now, as there's been no contestion. Again, Jackal being able to spot out individuals. The information being transferred to the rest of Fury.
Yeah, Thumbnail there was getting Jackal tracked earlier, so Rock able to pick up his feet, and that will give away his position. Not sure if Worthy has also been identified on this side of the map, so Worthy in a position potentially to cover him on a crossfire if they do push in. But it seems like Fury now, as I mentioned earlier, they've gone with that sort of second option and will push Office instead. Both Spruce and Golden, the hard breach sort of duo there, as Warden gets a double. They're now pushing towards Office, and they may not even need to clear it with Warden getting to work already.
It's definitely cutting down the options here. There we go. Thumbnail at least manages to find Warden, who I believe was downstairs on that room, to ensure that it was not the easy access, but wasting no time and trying to find a better position is Worthy. Just to find Shade. Look at the timing. Oh, Rock had the call. He had the play, but just the aim not so sharp. They are already trying to push through, both Spruce and Golden. Spruce just trying to spray away through the already made angle. And here will come the play from the Habana.
Yes, it will. Spruce throwing out those EMPs to try and open up the ball alongside Golden. Spruce will smack the barricade. Timing not great for him though. Will successfully down Wayman though. I believe he had the shotgun there, so long range not favourable for him. The wall now getting opened by Golden, and it is a 2 versus 2 scenario. The HP advantage with Rhythm though, as Spruce is very low at the moment as they look to push into be vertical control being established as well. Thumbnail just missing the shots on the crossfire. Both members are low, however, just not enough to finish them off. And with 5 seconds to go, they have to plant now. Thumbnail will get one as Golden's dropped. The plant is faked, but Thumbnail, having none of it, will drop both of them consecutively, and Rhythm will take round number 9.
Very nicely done from Thumbnail on that huge rotate from underneath as well to just systematically pick apart the individuals. And Rhythm actually pick up their first round in this second half. We will go to ventilation and workshop. And it doesn't look like too much of an adaptation is going to come out from Fury.
Yeah, that's surprising, considering it is actually their map pick. So you'd have to favour them heading into this map. But unfortunately, things really just not coming together. The current Season 10 Pro League team just struggling a little bit to close out rounds, and unfortunately Rhythm, I think, are just showing a little bit more teamwork, a little bit more synergy, and really just coming on top when it counts. So I think Fury just need to reset a little bit here, both their mindset and their play style. Maybe play a little bit more passively or a little bit more aggressively, depending on where they think their shortcomings are. Personally, I would say that their aggression is not too bad. I feel like there's just been a couple of scenarios where they either haven't set up the appropriate angles or the appropriate crossfires, and I guess that just comes down to teamwork in the end. So I'll use this time during the prep phase, I presume, to just talk that over quickly, try and reset as we head into round number 10.
So OJ with the already being placed in favourable areas. We saw this completely fall apart for the defending side not even 2 rounds ago, so hopefully OJ can stay alive long enough to do some damage, unlike the previous round. So for now, they will just play a little bit more off site to roam and be that nuisance that they are with all those fasty boys.
Yeah, that does appear to be the case, as strong side vertically once again. So just continuing that trend from basically the last 9 rounds, the defenders typically having 2 or 3 members above to try and waste time and deny that vertical play that can come out from the attackers. Shade is given free roam though of this southern side of the map. No real contesting coming out from Rhythm, so he'll have free range to use his devices. Spot some of those devices. The default cam is dropped as well, and believe possibly Gumine there at the top of the stairs. And that will help make things just a little bit easier for Fury as they try and go for the push now through officers.
Spruce leading that charge, but not really too concerned in going all guns blazing. Will be opened up and toward the archives, and that's going to be 2 quick frags coming in from OJ and Thumbnail, with Shade the only one to respond. Golden falls at the hands of Wayman, and the bomb's being dropped. It does eventually be picked up by Spruce, but at 2 versus 4, the defenders, they're looking like they're trying to close this one out. Little hesitance, but that's Shade being able to bounce back, and Wayman doing an incredible job. 1v2 for Spruce to clutch this one out.
Spruce does have the advantage of being above here, but it does look like there's limited lines of sight towards the objective, and not much health left. He'd probably only be able to take 1, maybe 2 bullets here, so things not looking great. He does have a little bit of time to play with if he can get the first frag. Unit Doggy appears to be low on health inside as well, but he's going to get hit by a Gumine. If he hits 1 more, that's going to be good night, so that's going to be unfortunate for him. He does have 1 EMP grenade though if he wants to try and clear the path ahead of him. You'll see 1 on his drone. Try and go for a possible floor bang. He almost hits it. That would have been absolutely nutty, but it just misses, and things now looking bleaker than ever for Fury Rhythm. Finishing it off, Unit gets a nice clean kill there and picks up round number 10 for his team.
Yeah, that is going to be match point for Rhythm now. And Fury, they're being caught against the odds. This is again their map pick. And on that attacking side, we haven't seen too much of an adaptation, rather. There we go. Zofia going to be being picked up by Rock. That's the first time we've seen Zofia on Fury so far on the attacking side, so stock standard, I believe, for the defenders as we go to customs and supply.
Yeah, that Zofia pick alongside the other attackers suggesting that Fury will be going for more of a fragging approach heading into this, maybe throwing some strategy out the window and going for entry frag potential. That Ash alongside IQ will offer that. No doubt Zofia will be following closely behind. Sledge as well will offer some of that vertical soft breach as well, if they can get control of above, but I'm expecting a stiff hold from Rhythm to try and deny them that opportunity, as we have so often seen tonight. Teams just loving to hold above the objective and denying those lines of sight that can be generated when the floor is remodeled.
Deploying ADS!
And that was the particular running that we saw in the first couple of rounds, the attacking side, obviously. With no goo mines, as you were mentioning when we saw the Legion before, that was out that window, so maybe we might see that coming through. We'll see the explosiveness of what Fury have to bring. Like you said, taking a lot of fragging potential might actually change the dynamic of how they decide to play.
Indeed, it may. Set up from OJ, one that we've seen quite a bit this evening. The bullet and melee holes to watch down that hallway. If you lose control of that, you'll find yourself in a lot of trouble. So good to see that Rhythm are investing some utility to help and hold that. Fury, meanwhile, will be looking to take upstairs control. Rock here alongside Warden. Followed closely by Spruce in Spawn, will be already pressuring inside security. They will be met with some very, very difficult to kill at times defenders, namely that Maestro OJ. Very competent hands, expecting him to go pretty wild here as he gets very aggressive early, showing some confidence, and unfortunately Shade dropped by a Claymore very early in the round there, so that's banded off the board, and Spruce gets Wayman, so that Valkyrie no longer in play as well, so we could definitely see Fury here bring this back to 6-5.
Well, a better opportunity if none. That's OJ being able to take down Spruce, trying to take a little bit more control of break room, but Thumbnail getting aggressive and now nullifying maybe the position in towards security. It's going to be the drones, so the live droning actually gives them the attention, but Thumbnail hits a nice shot onto Rocks. Oh, and another one onto Shade. So nasty. Completely drops their head, but that's going to be Warden firing one back into a 2v2 situation. They've got Maestro and Legion still up against Ash and Habana.
Thumbnail's been causing a lot of issues on that roam game so far. Luckily he was shut down by Warden eventually, but his rampage could prove costly in the end here. I guess this is quite an even matchup in terms of really frag potential heading into this. Both Golden and Warden with strong primaries, but I guess equally Unit and OJ with strong primaries as well. And health looking pretty similar across the board as well. So it's really going to come down, I feel like, the synergy between the two teammates here, depending on sort of the efficiency of their calls and if they can go for a really directed game plan. So it's going to be interesting to see what approach Fury take here. They do have the flexibility with 30 seconds to go to get something going. It looks like Warden's going to sneak down the stairs here, metal ears and units to his hard right, just sneaking, peeking. The drone's not going to see him. This could get very, very spicy. Warden, though, the goo might actually save him because he falls back, but unfortunately no. Oh, and the unit misses his shots. We will finally clean him up. That could have ended very, very badly, but Rhythm will take round number 11 and take the map in doing so.
Yeah, that almost saved his life toward the end there. That could have been a little bit dangerous had that not have paid off, but Rhythm with map number 1 taking it 7-4, and I mean, I would have to say somewhat convincingly.
Yeah, well, considering that was Fury's pick, taking them 7-4 is a very valiant effort.